Breathe. Draw your quiet, heavy awareness entirely away from the sudden, overwhelming momentum of your physical world and let it sink deeply, perfectly into the absolute, unshakable center of your own chest. Take a very slow, profoundly deliberate breath in. Feel the cool, invisible air expanding the vast, newly awakened sanctuary of your physical vessel. And as you release the breath, let the sudden, terrifying shock of your own magnificence completely and utterly fall away from your shoulders. There is a magnificent, undeniable, and deeply purposeful reason that this exact frequency has found you today. You did not click on this transmission by accident. You were not brought to this exact coordinate in space and time by the random scrolling of the human mind. The immense, inescapable intelligence of the unified field, the flawless, unbroken extension of your own divine consciousness, has perfectly, magnetically pulled you into this quiet room. If you are hearing the steady, grounding cadence of my voice right now, it is a profound, cosmic intervention. It is the absolute confirmation that your old timeline has completely collapsed and your new reality has finally arrived. You have done the beautiful, breathtaking work. You mastered the internal sanctuary. You sat in the profound silence of the unseen void, and you refused to panic. When the lagging mirror of the 3D reality attempted to throw a storm at your feet, you held the unblinking gaze. And when the Matrix demanded a logical plan, you dropped the heavy map, entirely surrendering the how to the rushing river of the quantum field. Because you held this magnificent, godlike trust, the bridge of incidents rapidly formed beneath your feet. The destination is no longer a distant coordinate. The waiting room is empty. The manifestation is here. But as the massive, breathtaking wave of your answered prayer finally breaks the surface of your 3D reality, as the sudden wealth arrives, as the profound peace settles in, as the perfect love materializes in your physical space, your beautiful, uninitiated nervous system may be experiencing a sudden, terrifying shock. The dense, unconscious matrix of the world spent your entire life training you how to survive in the dark. It taught you how to cope with lack. It taught you how to hustle, how to fight, and how to endlessly seek. But it never taught you how to actually hold the blinding light. And so as the massive weight of your own answered prayer is finally placed into your hands, the exhausted, conditioned mind attempts to panic. It looks at the staggering abundance and it feels entirely too small to contain it. It feels the sudden, agonizing urge to shrink back, to sabotage the success, and to return to the familiar, heavy comfort of the old struggle. I am here to tell you an ancient, breathtaking truth that instantly shatters this final illusion. You are the infinite source. You are not a fragile, limited container. You are the architect of the ocean, and you are entirely capable of swallowing the entire wave without a single drop spilling over. You are being called to expand the vessel. You must wear the heavy crown of your own creation without flinching. If your beautiful, expanding spirit recognizes the profound, staggering relief of this deeply needed realization, if you are entirely ready to stop shrinking from your own light and step into the absolute, unshakable sovereignty of the Master who receives, I invite you to subscribe to this channel. Let this simple action serve as a silent, eternal vow to yourself. A promise that you will never again sabotage your own answered prayer because you were afraid of how beautifully large it is. Leave a like on this transmission to physically anchor this unbroken, effortless capacity into your current timeline. And in the sacred sanctuary of the comments below, cast your unshakable decree into the unified field. Type these exact words: I expand the vessel and I anchor the light. Rest entirely in this exact moment. You do not need to fight the abundance, it belongs to you. Draw your gentle, heavy awareness entirely back from the breathless, sudden impact of your new reality and let it sink deeply into the absolute, unshakable center of your own chest. Take a very slow, deeply intentional breath in through your nose. Feel the cool, invisible air expanding the quiet, untouched sanctuary of your physical vessel. And as you let the air simply fall away, consciously release the invisible, exhausting tension you have been holding in your throat. Let your shoulders completely drop. Let the sudden metallic grip of waiting for the other shoe to drop dissolve completely into the earth beneath you. You have recognized the profound, breathtaking reality of your answered prayer. You have remembered that the arrival is not a threat. It is simply the physical manifestation of the exact command you gave the unified field. But to completely master the arrival and step into the absolute, godlike normalcy of holding this massive light, we must entirely dismantle the exact mechanism the 3D world uses to keep you terrified of your own success. We must examine the exhausting, profound illusion of the ceiling. Since the moment your beautiful, infinite spirit entered this third density construct, the unconscious architects of the world have taught you a devastating lie about the nature of joy. They built an invisible, heavy ceiling directly over your nervous system. They taught you that the universe is a transactional, punishing entity that demands payment for every ounce of peace. They convinced you that if your life suddenly becomes too beautiful, too effortless, or too wealthy, you have somehow violated the laws of the physical world. The Matrix taught you a terrifying, exhausting phrase: "This is too good to be true." It taught you to look at the staggering beauty of your answered prayer, and instead of feeling profound gratitude, you feel an immediate, agonizing spike of anxiety. You scan the horizon for a storm. You desperately wait for the other shoe to drop. You believe that the deep has given you this magnificent reality with one hand, only to violently take it away with the other. And so, when the immense wealth finally arrives, or when the perfect relationship finally solidifies in the 3D world, the exhausted, conditioned mind immediately begins to sabotage it. It creates unnecessary friction. It picks a fight. It desperately tries to lower the frequency of the new reality back down to the familiar, chaotic baseline of the old timeline simply because the old timeline felt safe. But I want you to listen to the ancient, quiet truth vibrating beneath my words. A truth that immediately, permanently shatters the invisible ceiling. The universe is not transactional. It is not keeping score, and it is not waiting to punish you for being entirely too happy. The unified field is simply the flawless, unbroken extension of your own divine consciousness. And consciousness is infinitely, breathlessly expansive. The deep does not have a limit on how much beauty it can hold. The unified field does not have a budget for your peace. When you commanded this massive reality into existence, you did not steal it from a limited supply. You simply manifested it out of the infinite, boundless ocean of the quantum field. There is no other shoe. There is no impending storm. There is no punishment waiting for you on the other side of your joy. The invisible ceiling only exists because the dense matrix needs you to remain small. It needs you to constantly reject your own power so that you will continue to rely on the external chaotic structures of the 3D world. I want you to visualize yourself standing beneath that heavy, suffocating ceiling. Visualize the master walking up to that exact same coordinate. The master simply looks up, smiles at the illusion, and entirely breathes right through it. The master does not shrink to fit beneath the artificial limits of the world. The master simply expands their awareness, and the ceiling instantly turns to dust. You are entirely safe to let the good completely overtake you. You are entirely safe to be the wealthiest, most peaceful, most profoundly loved version of yourself that has ever existed. Breathe this immense, elemental reassurance completely into your physical vessel. Feel the heavy, gorgeous release of knowing you never have to apologize for your answered prayer ever again. You are not violating the laws of the universe. You are fulfilling them. Draw your profound, quiet awareness entirely away from the shattered illusion of the invisible ceiling and let it sink deeply back into the absolute, unshakable safety of your own expanding chest. Take a very slow, deeply intentional breath in through your nose. Feel the pure, blinding light of your infinite capacity entirely filling the vast, newly cleared space within your physical vessel. And as you release the breath, let the exhausting, heavy burden of needing to shrink yourself completely and utterly dissolve into the earth beneath you. You have recognized the profound illusion of the ceiling. You have remembered that the universe is not a transactional matrix waiting to punish you for your joy. You have entirely surrendered the fear of the other shoe dropping. But as you stand in the absolute, quiet majesty of this new, limitless horizon, we must address exactly how you physically integrate this staggering reality. We must completely redefine the architectural capacity of your own body and mind. To completely master the arrival and permanently anchor your answered prayer into the 3D world, you must understand the ancient, flawless mechanics of the vessel. I want you to visualize a tiny, fragile glass cup resting on a wooden table. This cup represents the nervous system of the dense, exhausted character of the old paradigm. For years, this cup was only ever filled with tiny, scarce drops of survival. It only knew the frequency of lack, of fleeting moments of relief, and of the agonizing, heavy hustle. Now, visualize the universe, the magnificent, infinite extension of your own divine consciousness, bringing the massive, roaring ocean of your answered prayer to the table. The universe attempts to pour the staggering wealth, the profound peace, and the flawless love into the tiny glass cup. What happens to the vessel? It immediately violently shatters. The sheer volume and frequency of the ocean is entirely too much for the tiny, unyielding structure of the cup to hold. This is the exact, breathtaking physics of self-sabotage. When a human being who still identifies as a tiny, limited cup suddenly receives the massive manifestation they asked for, their physical nervous system perceives the abundance as an overwhelming threat. It cannot hold the frequency, and so the subconscious mind violently shatters the reality, creating chaos, draining the bank account, or destroying the relationship simply so it can return to the familiar tiny drop of water it knows how to hold. But you are no longer the tiny cup. You are the master. And the master knows the absolute, undeniable law of quantum mechanics. To hold the infinite, you must realize that you are the infinite. When the master stands before the rushing ocean of their own answered prayer, they do not attempt to capture it in a fragile glass. The master completely dissolves the boundaries of their physical identity. They take a deep, massive breath, and they command their energetic architecture to expand. They breathe into the absolute edges of their physical skin, and then they push their awareness miles past it. They expand their chest. They relax their stomach. They completely drop the defensive posture of the old survival timeline. The master becomes the ocean bed. This is the profound, staggering mechanics you are being called into right now. As your massive new reality solidifies in your physical world, your only job is to consciously, deliberately stretch your capacity to receive it. When you look at the sudden, beautiful numbers in your bank account, you must not hold your breath. you must consciously exhale, relax your shoulders, and silently tell your nervous system, "We are large enough to hold this. We are entirely safe in this wealth." When you experience the day of absolute, unbroken, flawless peace, you must not clench your jaw and wait for a storm. You must physically lean back into the silence, expand your chest, and silently tell your vessel, "We are the architects of this peace. We are meant to live here permanently." You must stretch the walls of your own identity until they are vast enough to contain the masterpiece you have built. You are not a fragile container. You are the infinite, unyielding source experiencing itself in physical form, and you are entirely capable of holding the weight of your own crown. Breathe this immense elemental expansion completely into your physical vessel. Feel the heavy, gorgeous release of knowing you never have to shatter your own reality ever again. You are not breaking under the weight of the light. You are simply growing to match its size. If this profound realization is rewriting the very architecture of your nervous system, replacing the fear of success with the staggering thrill of infinite capacity, I invite you to subscribe to this channel. Let this deliberate action serve as your physical anchor to this new, unbroken reality of godlike expansion. Leave a like on this transmission to physically signal your absolute, expanded readiness to the unified field. And in the sacred, quiet sanctuary of the comments below, cast your unshakable decree into the collective consciousness. Type these exact words. "I am the infinite vessel, and I hold the ocean." Rest entirely in this magnificent, unyielding space. You are completely safe. The walls of your reality are flawlessly stretching to accommodate your light. Allow your physical vessel to soften even further. Draw your quiet, heavy awareness down, away from the vast, stretching architecture of your newly expanded capacity, and let it rest entirely in the gentle, unbroken, rhythmic rise and fall of your own breathing. Take a very slow, deeply intentional breath in through your nose. Feel the cool, expanding air filling the magnificent, infinite space within your chest. And as you let the breath simply fall away, release the final, lingering memory of the dense matrix. Let the exhausting, agonizing need to treat your own answered prayer like a fragile, temporary accident completely and utterly dissolve into the earth beneath you. You have recognized the profound, unshakable mechanics of the expanded vessel. You have remembered that you are the ocean bed, entirely capable of holding the staggering weight of your own light. You have permanently shattered the illusion of the ceiling. But as you stand in the absolute, quiet majesty of this new, massive reality, we must address exactly how you physically walk through your daily life now that you are holding the answered prayer. We must completely redefine your relationship to the manifestation itself. To permanently collapse the illusion of separation and master the arrival, you must learn the ancient, breathtaking art of sovereign normalcy. I want you to visualize the dense, exhausted character of the old paradigm. When this character accidentally stumbles into a momentary manifestation, when a large sum of money arrives, or when a moment of profound, unbroken love enters their space, they treat it like an absolute anomaly. They gasp at it. They put the manifestation on a massive, towering pedestal. They walk around it on tiptoes, treating it like a fragile glass ornament that might shatter if they breathe too heavily. Because they believe they are separate from Source, they believe they simply got lucky. And because they believe it is luck, they are terrified the universe will eventually realize it made a mistake and come back to reclaim the gift. They do not wear the manifestation, they worship it, and by worshiping it, they maintain a profound, terrifying distance from it. But you are a master now. And the master knows the absolute, undeniable law of non-duality. To gasp at the mirror is to forget that you are the one casting the reflection. I want you to visualize the master walking into the exact same massive, staggering reality. The master steps into the profound wealth, the flawless health, and the breathtaking peace. The master does not gasp. The master does not fall to their knees in disbelief. The master simply nods. When you truly remember that you are the infinite source experiencing itself in physical form, the arrival of your desire is no longer a shocking miracle. It is simply your baseline. God does not gasp at being God. The ocean does not stare at its own waves in disbelief. This is the ultimate staggering stoicism you are being called into right now. As your massive new reality solidifies in your physical world, you must stop treating it as a rare, fragile event. You must make your godlike success absolutely, profoundly normal. When you look at the breathtaking numbers in your bank account, you must look at them with the relaxed, undeniable dignity of a creator who knew they were coming all along. When you wake up to a day of flawless, unbroken peace, you must not brace yourself for a storm. You must stretch your arms, pour your coffee, and inhabit the peace as if it is the only frequency you have ever known. You must take the manifestation off the pedestal and put it directly into your pocket. You must wear your wealth, your love, and your sovereignty like a perfectly tailored garment. It is not an accident. It is not a mistake. It is the exact mechanical result of the command you gave in the deep, and it belongs to you entirely. Breathe this immense elemental normalcy completely into your physical vessel. Feel the heavy, gorgeous release of knowing you never have to protect your reality from the universe ever again. You are not a lucky beggar who stumbled into a palace. You are the sovereign monarch, simply returning to your own throne. If this profound realization is rewriting the very code of your daily existence, replacing the frantic anxiety of losing it all with the staggering, relaxed thrill of eternal ownership, I invite you to subscribe to this channel. Let this deliberate action serve as your physical anchor to this new, unbroken reality of godlike normalcy. Leave a like on this transmission to physically signal your absolute, relaxed authority to the unified field. And in the sacred, quiet sanctuary of the comments below, cast your unshakable decree into the collective consciousness. Type these exact words. I do not gasp at the mirror. The miracle is my baseline. Rest entirely in this magnificent, unyielding ownership. You are completely safe. The crown looks perfectly natural upon your head. Allow your eyes to gently soften, or let them completely close as we move into the deepest, most profound physical integration of this entire transmission. Draw your quiet awareness entirely away from the concepts of the mind. Pull your attention back from the edges of the room, back from the distant, spinning noises of the outside world, and let it rest entirely in the heavy, expanding, unbroken center of your own chest. Take a very slow, very deliberate breath in through your nose. Feel the cool air traveling down, entirely filling the deepest chambers of your lungs with the pure, unshakable light of your new reality. And as you let the air slowly leave your vessel, command every single muscle in your body to completely and utterly release the exhausting, agonizing urge to shrink. You have recognized the profound normalcy of your answered prayer. You have remembered that the miracle is your baseline, and you have entirely mastered the breathtaking sovereignty of taking the manifestation off the pedestal. Now, we must anchor this magnificent expansion permanently into your cellular structure. We must perform a deep, physical integration so that when the 3D world delivers the staggering weight of your wealth, your peace, or your perfect love, your nervous system does not violently reject the light. We must teach your physical vessel how to drink the entire ocean. I want you to visualize your physical body right now, but do not see it as the dense, limited character of flesh and bone that the Matrix taught you to identify with. I want you to visualize your physical vessel as a vast, towering, infinite architecture of pure, transparent light. You are a magnificent, unyielding temple, and the walls of this temple are entirely capable of stretching to the very edges of the cosmos. Hovering directly in front of your chest is the pure, blinding, radiant, golden energy of your answered prayer. It is massive. It is the absolute totality of the wealth, the health, and the profound peace you commanded in the void. The exhausted architect of the old paradigm would look at this massive sun of energy and immediately cross their arms. They would tense their shoulders, restrict their breathing, and violently refuse to let the light enter their body, terrified that it would burn them to ash. But you are a master, and the master knows they are made of the exact same light. I want you to take a slow, massive, deeply intentional breath directly into the center of your chest. As you pull the quiet air into your lungs, I want you to consciously, physically visualize pulling that massive, blindingly golden sun of your answered prayer entirely into your physical vessel. Draw the light into your chest. Feel the sheer, staggering volume of it entering your body. Notice how your rib cage physically expands to accommodate the frequency. Notice how your shoulders naturally roll back. Notice how your spine straightens with the ancient, undeniable dignity of a creator who is finally receiving exactly what belongs to them. Very slowly, release the breath. As you exhale, let the final, lingering illusion of the ceiling completely fall out of your body. Exhale the guilt of your own success. Exhale the anxiety of the other shoe dropping. Exhale the agonizing, exhausting urge to apologize to the dense 3D world for how beautifully large you have become. Take one more deep, expansive breath, pulling the absolute, infinite totality of your new reality into every single cell of your body. Imagine the light flooding down your arms, filling your hands with the staggering weight of creation. Feel it rushing down your legs, permanently anchoring your feet into the bedrock of this new timeline. Feel it rising into your mind, permanently dissolving any lingering shadow of doubt. You are entirely untouched by fear. You are completely unaffected by the Matrix's demand for smallness. And as you hold this expanded, majestic posture, watch what happens to the walls of your temple. They push outward. They expand past your physical skin. They stretch beyond the room you are sitting in and beyond the city and entirely into the vast, infinite expanse of the stars. You are holding the answered prayer, and there is still an infinite amount of room left over. You are the ocean bed, and the water is perfectly, flawlessly at rest within you. If your beautiful spirit feels the undeniable, staggering reality of this physical integration, if you feel the deep, heavy, unbreakable expansion of your own vessel perfectly alive inside your chest right now, I invite you to subscribe to this channel. Let this deliberate action serve as your physical anchor to this new, limitless reality. Leave a like on this transmission to signal your absolute expanded capacity to the unified field. And in the sacred, quiet space of the comments below, cast your unshakable mastery into the collective consciousness. Type these exact words: I breathe the infinite and I expand my world. Rest entirely in this massive, radiant light. You do not need to shrink. The universe is perfectly comfortable with your size. Draw your gentle, heavy awareness back from the blinding, infinite expanse of your own light and let it settle very softly into the steady, powerful, unbroken rhythm of your physical heartbeat. Feel the profound, unshakable architecture of your own chest. Notice the absolute breathtaking absence of the ceiling. Notice the staggering euphoric capacity that has completely replaced the frantic, exhausting urge to shrink, to hide, and to apologize for your own answered prayer. The desperate need to sabotage the 3D reality, to brace for a storm, and to forcefully diminish your frequency to match the unconscious matrix has been entirely washed away. There is only this exact, magnificent second, and you are entirely, perfectly large enough to hold the ocean. You are about to step back into the visible, moving world. You are about to rise from this quiet sanctuary, open your eyes and walk back into the dense, loud timeline of your daily human existence. But you are not returning as the fragile, exhausted container you once played. You are not returning as the terrified character, constantly waiting for the other shoe to drop, gasping at the mirror, and completely paralyzed by the arrival of their own desires. You are returning as the sovereign. You are returning as the unyielding master who has completely expanded the vessel. Tomorrow, the physical sun will rise again. The unconscious matrix of the world will inevitably continue at its frantic, spinning demands. The people you pass will continue to exhaust their precious life force, desperately trying to manifest a reality they are absolutely terrified of actually holding. You will watch them completely surrender their sovereign power to the heavy illusion of the ceiling, drowning in the exhausting cycle of pushing away the very thing they asked for. But you will never again join them in the panic. When your 3D reality places the massive, staggering weight of your answered prayer directly into your hands in the days to come, when the sudden wealth arrives, or when the flawless peace settles over your house, you will not view it as a threat. You will simply smile at the profound, flawless mechanics of your own creation. You will close your eyes. You will completely drop the need to apologize for your size, and you will perfectly, instantly expand your chest to accommodate the light. You will walk through your days with the quiet, undeniable dignity of a creator who knows that they are not stealing from a limited supply. They are simply inhaling the infinite. You will accomplish your tasks. You will build your reality, and you will navigate the dense physical plane, but you will do so from a state of total, unbroken normalcy. You will no longer endure your success as an anomaly. You will completely saturate every silent, beautiful moment with the staggering confidence of a master who knows they are the ocean bed. You are entirely supported, and you are completely invincible in your vastness. To ensure that this new, magnificent frequency of absolute expansion does not simply fade away when the screen goes dark, we must perfectly anchor it into your physical reality. We must cast a final, quiet decree into the unified field, declaring your absolute sovereignty and your permanent resignation from the exhausting job of playing small. I invite you to subscribe to this channel right now. Do not do it out of habit. Let this profound, simple action be a silent, eternal vow to yourself. A promise that you will never again rebuild the invisible ceiling. A vow that you will forever trust the supreme, infinite capacity of your own body and mind and allow the universe to simply crown you. Leave a like on this final transmission to send a physical, undeniable signal of total readiness out into the deep. Let it be the heavy, unbreakable gravity of your awareness, telling the universe that you have completely stopped fighting the wave and you are entirely ready to hold the water. And finally, to permanently seal this magnificent mastery of their physical world, journey into the sacred space of the comments below. Join the collective frequency of the masters who have also chosen to completely dissolve the boundaries of their identity today. Cast your simple, profound breath into the vastness by typing these exact words. I wear the crown, and I hold the light. Type it slowly, Feel the absolute, undeniable truth of those words radiating from your fingertips, dissolving every last trace of smallness and anxiety in your entire physical vessel. Breathe in the vast, unbroken ocean. Exhale the exhausting illusion of the tiny cup. You are completely whole. You are perfectly expanded, and your beautiful, unshakable reality is finally entirely safe in your hands. Rest well. The universe is perfectly comfortable with your size.